In 2077, machines do most of the work. Raja knew this better than anyone. He grew up in a district where the factories ran on robots, and the robots almost never stopped. Until they did. And when they did, everything stopped with them. The conveyor belts, the packaging lines, the refrigeration units that kept food cold in the market stalls where his mother sold produce every morning before the heat became unbearable, and the crowds thinned, and she packed up what remained and carried it home on her back because there was no other way to carry it. Most of these machines were older models, purchased secondhand, or salvaged from liquidations. What worked reliably in controlled laboratory conditions often failed spectacularly in humid warehouses and dusty production floors. The manufacturers never anticipated the actual conditions where most machines spent their working lives. Raja was not an engineer. He had no university degree. He had a small toolkit, a second-hand diagnostic tablet, and 8 years of watching machines fail in ways their manufacturers had never anticipated, which meant he understood failure in a language that no certification program had ever tried to teach. And that understanding turned out to be worth considerably more than any certification would have been, because certifications tell you how machines are supposed to work, and Raja had learned how they actually break. The robots of 2077 are not simple machines. They are layered systems. Software talks to hardware. Hardware talks to sensors. Sensors talk to actuators. When one layer breaks, the whole system collapses, and the collapse rarely announces itself clearly. It arrives as a code, as a behavior that seems almost normal but is not quite right, as a sound that a person who has heard enough machines would recognize immediately, and a person who has not would ignore entirely until the machine stops moving and the production line goes quiet and the losses begin accumulating by the hour. Ratu, who managed the logistics depot where Raja first found steady work, described the problem plainly. A broken robot is not a broken part. It is a broken relationship between parts, and finding where that relationship failed is the entire job. Most repair companies in 2077 charge premium rates. They send certified technicians. They carry proprietary tools. They bill by the hour. And they replace components rather than repair them, because replacement is faster than diagnosis, and billing more hours is better for quarterly earnings than solving problems efficiently. And the small depot managers and the market warehouse operators who could not afford those rates had no formal alternative. They simply let machines sit idle and absorbed the losses because the losses felt smaller than the invoices, even when they were not. Raja charged less. He also fixed more. He carried a logbook, physical paper which people found unusual, where he recorded every failure pattern he had ever encountered, the sequence of error codes, the ambient temperature at the time of breakdown, the load the machine had been running, the humidity level in the room, the age of the unit, the model number, the number of hours since its last maintenance cycle, and over years this logbook became something that no manufacturer's database contained, which was a record of how machines actually failed in actual conditions, in hot and dusty and underfunded facilities, not in controlled laboratories designed to make products appear more reliable than they were. This logbook was his genuine advantage, a resource that premium repair technicians never bothered to accumulate. Where they saw expensive parts to replace, he saw patterns to understand. Nas, his daughter, was 12 when she started reading the logbook. She asked questions about the patterns. She identified correlations he had recorded without naming, certain failure sequences that clustered around specific temperature thresholds, certain error codes that appeared together reliably enough to suggest a shared root cause rather than independent malfunctions. And she understood these things faster than he expected, which did not entirely surprise him, because he had noticed over the years that people who grew up around broken things developed an instinct for systems that people who had only ever used new things rarely acquired, because new things teach you what success looks like, and broken things teach you how failure propagates. By 2077, the economy had sorted itself into those who owned automation and those who maintained it. And the distance between those two groups was enormous, but within the maintenance category there were gradations, and Raja had climbed those gradations not through capital investment or formal credentials, but through accumulated knowledge that no competitor had bothered to accumulate, because the large repair companies with sufficient capital preferred to replace components rather than understand them. And replacement required no logbook, no memory, no theory of failure. It required only a parts inventory and an invoice, and Raja had made an entire livelihood out of doing the thing they refused to do, which was to actually understand what went wrong and why, so that the next failure could be anticipated before it happened, and the machine could be kept running for another season without anyone having to afford a bill they could not pay. He was not wealthy, he was stable. In 2077, for someone from his district, stable was the achievement worth measuring.